Welcome to Tech Talk, y'all.
Hello, and welcome to Tech Talk, y'all, a production of Edgewise Media, episode 379. I'm Sanjay Park, and joined again by guest host Joe Casabona. Welcome to the show, Joe.
Thank you, Sanjay. Thanks for having me again. I had such a blast last time. I'm so stoked to be back.
Yeah. I'm excited to have you back as well. Obviously we didn't get any negative, listener feedback on you. So there you go. That's why you're back.
People need to get me to know me a little longer. Oh, this guy has a lot of strong opinions about things that don't matter.
Oh, if that was the issue, they would have stopped listening to this podcast a long time ago.
Excellent.
Like 7 years ago, because I think that's actually our secondary tagline of this show. Opinions on things that don't matter.
Love it.
To anyone. So, let's get right into it. First up, a unique sound alleviates motion sickness. I thought this was interesting. It actually somewhat relates to a tech rec that you're going to do in a little bit, but it's not motion sickness, but it's different kind of sound stuff. But what do you think about it? Do you have motion sickness? Do you get motion sickness?
I have found, so there's this episode of Modern Family where like they go to Disneyland and like Phil loves the rides and he's worried that he's getting too old to do them because he's feeling sick and it ends up he has the flu. And I have that fear because like sometimes I do and I never did. So I like this, right? Usually it's like I try to like read in the car or something, I'm like, or whatever. But I don't usually get motion sickness, but I have noted in the last few months as I approach 40, it's becoming more frequent than zero.
Yeah, so I definitely have it. I don't know that I get it as much reading in the car, although I don't know that I read that much in the car in the first place, because a lot of times I'm in the driver's seat.
You only really need to make that mistake once too. It's like, oh, this is bad.
Right. Yeah. But I will tell you, I get it on boats. Boats are not good for me at all. It is unpleasant. And so I like this, but it's interesting to your point. I wonder if this is tech that could then be integrated into cars directly. And so you can have like a little button on the dash and be like, oh, turn on motion sickness mode. I mean, that would be a great thing.
Yeah. Seeing it like there in, or like, in headphones, if people are getting motion sickness, if there's like a lot of turbulence. I went to a conference recently and there were like bad tornadoes and I was fine. But my friend, when she landed, she told me that like 4 people passed out and 1 person puked. Like the turbulence was that bad. And I'm like the passing out maybe, but like the little sound to make you feel better in those times is probably not a bad thing.
Yeah. I recently had a flight up to New York and flight was great all the way up until like 5 minutes before landing. And there was some rough air right there.
Yeah.
And then leaving New York actually got delayed because of that same rough air. So yeah, crazy stuff. Okay, keep going then.
All right. So Airbnb will now show users the total cost.
You skipped one.
Oh, did I skip one? Oh, goodness.
The one that I'm angry about.
Oh, yes. Gosh. You know what? I had them in a different order in my notes. Intuit, owner of TurboTax, wins battle against the American taxpayers. My notes are similar, which is like, obvious thing has happened. But the rub with this for me is like, so for those who don't know the story, direct file is a thing that the IRS apparently used to now offer in about 25 states where people could easily submit their taxes for free through the IRS website.
And we've talked about it on this show before. They have been expanding over the last few years for more and more people to have access to this free tax software. It makes it very simple to file taxes, very straightforward. Keep going, Joe.
And so Intuit, owner of TurboTax, lobbied heavily. It sounds like with others in the space. And
I'm sure H&R Block was in the mix.
Right. And a number of House Republicans wrote to the president, and the president said, yes, that sounds like a great idea. Let's get rid of this free, amazing service for citizens.
Yeah. You know what really kind of irritates me about this? It irritates me about the whole system of filing taxes here is that if you look at other countries, like I know specifically in England, they basically get a postcard that says, this is what you owe, or this is what you've already paid. If you have an issue with this number, then you can file something. If not, we're good, because all the money is reported electronically. All the taxes are reported. Like, they already know all the numbers. They can already calculate all the stuff. Why should each of us as individuals have to do all the work, where, we have these things called computers now, and they can also just calculate all the things for all of us. So I don't understand what the problem is here.
Yeah.
Like, just make it easy.
I agree. I've had an accountant for a long time because our tax code is stupid and complicated. And my accountant has definitely saved me more money than I've paid her. So, like, shout out, Rachel, you're the best. But for most people, that's not the case, right? Like, my brothers they don't have businesses. They have fairly simple taxes. They don't have kids. So like, it should be as easy as a postcard. I am filing this away under Congress, do your job, right? Like, if they had codified something, then whatever capricious president is in office wouldn't be able to get rid of it with the stroke of a pen.
Right. Exactly. Yeah. I think exactly to your point. Congress, do your job. Figure out things that are better for citizens, codify them into law, and make sure that nobody can get rid of those things, because that's what we're paying taxes for, honestly. Right.
Yeah.
Like, I have no issue paying taxes. I think, that's kind of the compact that we have as citizens, that we are all going to pay for things that collectively we can do that individually we could not do. Right. Like,
yes.
I'm not paying for private security at my house, and for the roads to be paved around my house, and all of those other things. And this is one of those things. It's like, just make life a little bit easier for all of us. All of us have to deal with this. The things that all of us have to deal with, let's all do together and just make it easier.
Yes.
But I will tell you, one of the things that they were trying to make easier, and has gone into law, Airbnb will now show users the total cost of their stay right away. So this relates to the law around junk fees that I think passed under President Biden. Congress passed, I think, and then he signed it to eliminate kind of these junk fees and hidden fees and all of these things. Have you gone to Airbnbs, registered for Airbnbs before? I have, and I know it's always a surprise at the end of it. What about you? Same thing?
Yeah, same. I have in my notes here, alternate headline, thing that always should have happened finally happens, right? Like, you're telling me how much I'm going to pay up front? What a novel idea. Also, like, a cleaning fee bothers me. That's like,
yes,
it's like the credit card processing fee. Just work it into the price. Right. I'm mad it's a line item.
Why are you line iteming that? Like, why is that a separate line item? Don't line item that.
Yeah, like, just I expect you're going to clean the place. I expect it's going to take like some time and material. Just like build it into the price.
Yeah. Along those lines, like, one of the things that I appreciate, I think you see this in Europe, probably other places too, is when you go to shop, the price is the price. There's not like sales tax after that.
Mm-hmm.
That and all that stuff is already built in.
Yeah.
So when you see the thing and you're like, I want that thing, it's not like you're doing math of like, okay, well, that thing is 100, and where am I? What is the tax rate here where I'm located?
Right.
I got to add in another 10% or 15%, whatever it is. Like, I like that. I don't know why we don't do that. Probably because it's not law. And then that makes it seem like things are cheaper until, surprise, it's not.
Yeah, like, are we getting fooled if it's like, I have $100? Oh, here's $100 thing. Oh, it's actually like $125. Oh, I don't have that. Like, I'm going to put it back. I've just wasted everybody's time. It is, right. I will say, going in the opposite direction, because I used to live in New York, and in Pennsylvania, essentials like clothes and food are not taxed. And so, like, I buy clothes and expect to pay like $60 instead of 50 or whatever it is. That's like a really high percentage. Also, I'm from New York, so it's close. And it would just be like the sticker price, and I'm like, what a pleasant surprise! I'm paying exactly what it says I'm paying. That's so nice.
I gotta say, like, I've been to a couple of restaurants. Maybe they're like fast casual restaurants where the prices are like these weird numbers. Like $4.83 and whatever. And you're like, why is that? And then when you actually get the thing, everything is in round dollars because they built the tax in to adjust it so that it hits exactly around dollar amount. And then I go, oh, that's very nice.
Oh, yes.
I like that.
Yeah.
I appreciate that.
Also makes it easy for people to, I know they put the tip on the bottom of the receipt in a lot of places now, but like round numbers do make it easy to figure out the tip.
20% of whatever you're going for.
Right.
Yeah, exactly. Next
up, why it's so difficult for robots to make your Nike sneakers. So last time I was on the show, we talked about how tariffs were a moving target. The day after, tariffs changed again.
And I think they're changing again today.
Yeah.
I think I saw something.
Fantastic.
I don't know.
So this story is mainly about why it's really not economical. Maybe this is a different framing, but it's Nike has tried to build a factory in Texas where robots would build the shoes, so that we wouldn't have to hire, as our Treasury Secretary says, millions of people to screw to screw in tiny screws into iPhones. But robots are not nimble and precise enough to work with the fabrics on shoes, and so this still largely needs to be a human-made thing or a human-performed task.
Yeah, unlike hard objects like laptops and cars and things like that, where you can predict what the object is going to do. Yeah, you can't do that with fabric. They make a whole point in here that just swings in temperature would change the size and shape and characteristics of the material. And then if like the sole gets glued on just a little askew, then aesthetically it's not pleasing anymore and you can't sell it. And there you go. You just wasted a shoe because of that issue right there.
Yeah.
It's super fascinating. I'm sure over time, these things will get better. I've got to believe that, computer vision, and like assembly technologies will get better, but obviously we are not there yet. The other thing that I found fascinating, I don't know if you found this fascinating, Joe, is that basically Nike is like, look, designers are allowed to do whatever they want. There's no restrictions on how it gets manufactured. You manufacturing people, you just got to figure it out. We're not going to restrict the designers at all.
Yeah.
And like by the time the manufacturing people figured out how to fix and solve one thing, like getting the logo glued onto a kind of fabric, they had changed the kind of fabric and all of that stuff. And it's like that technology didn't work anymore. And I'm like, man, it would stink to be a manufacturing person for Nike because they're just willy-nilly changing everything.
Yeah.
Which is probably why it's a great product for consumers because we get really good products. But yeah, it would suck to have to manufacture that.
I mean, yeah, I think like the lesson here, and I think we're seeing it in a couple of these stories this week, is like mass-produced stuff is never going to be as good as like the bespoke, well-crafted thing, right? Like I see this in baseball now. Even like 20 years in baseball, everyone wore the same thing and the same cleats and the same glove. And now like every player has cleats and gloves and like little trinkets, like part of their uniform that really shows their personality. And like that is only possible because of advancements in like the technology for designers, sure, but because there is a person willing to make Aaron Judge's custom Statue of Liberty cleats or whatever, or like Jazz Chisholm Jr.'s Jackie Robinson cleats.
Do you think that's also a function of them wanting to be able to sell like merch that is their merch so that they get a cut of that? Yeah. Because if everybody has the same stuff, you can't really like sell, oh, these are my cleats. No, they're everybody's cleats.
Yeah, that's really interesting. I honestly don't know because I don't think like Aaron Judge is going off like selling his like in-game cleats, like a design of those. I think those are like a standout thing for them. I think there's like a pair in the in Cooperstown. I think it's like, and like the guy, I know the guy who does Aaron Judge's cleats specifically is like a guy in the Bronx who like spends like a whole day like doing these shoes, right? So like
hand making them.
And like hand painting them so that they like don't get scuffed in games and stuff like that. So I think it's just like a personality thing, and it's like super cool to see like everyone's screaming that AI is going to take our jobs, but like manufacturing technology can't like print the Adidas logo on the tongue of a shoe, right? I think that picture's in the article.
There you go. Talking about AI, apparently saying please and thank you to ChatGPT cost millions of dollars, CEO says. So I'm assuming you use some form of AI too, Joe. Do you say please and thank you to it?
I don't say please all the time unless it's like baked into like one of my projects. I will say things like thanks, this is perfect, mostly as like a positive reinforcement to be like, hey, remember that I like it this way, sort of thing.
Yeah.
So I'm usually like 3.
I do say please when I'm asking it stuff sometimes. Like a lot of times I'll say, can you please fix this? Can you please do this? Whatever. And I think that's just, I don't know, being Southern and growing up that way.
I am trying to say it to like our voice assistants in the house so that my children like learn manners. Cause like when I like shout angrily at my HomePod, they also do. And I'm like, well, that's not how you talk to people. So
what, if I can ask, what voice assistant do you use in the house?
We use Apple's. I won't activate everybody's. So we use Apple's. We have HomePods everywhere. It's terrible. Like it's so bad. But it like, at least I'm not getting like served up ads when I don't want them. Right. Which is like the problem with Amazon stuff. And I'm just like super.
I didn't know that.
Oh, it's bad. Like the Echo Show, like you can't turn off the ads at all. And I'm like, I paid a couple $100 for this and you're still gonna like, I don't like that. So like at least with Apple, like I'm not getting that, but I'm also getting the most common thing it's my HomePod say to me is you're gonna have to authenticate on your iPod or iPhone for that. Or I don't know the answer to that. Oh, okay. So then we end up asking ChatGPT anyway.
Well, for listeners, I'll do a call back to a tech rec that I did, I don't know, some number of weeks ago. I've got Jarvis now, which is the home assistant, voice assistant. There's a little device that they released. I think it's $39, $59, something like that. And it only works with Home Assistant. Everything is local to your house. Nothing is sent up to the cloud. You can have it enabled with Cloud Assistant help if you want it to. But mine is powerful enough that I can do things in the house. I can tell it to, raise and lower shades, turn on lights and things like that. So, that's the extent of stuff I do. It makes me feel comfortable because none of my voice stuff is going out to some other random organization. And everything stays in the house. So it's not bad. So
yeah, I like that.
Talking about things that are not bad. Next one.
Can I just add one more thought to this story? Go. My favorite part of the story is how the journalist did zero follow-up on Sam Altman's claim. Like he was just like, Sam Altman said that saying please and thank you costs tens of millions of dollars.
Millions of dollars. I'm sure that's right.
That's probably right. Now let me write a story about how like people say please. Like it was a very weird catalyst for the story.
It was, hey, I don't have anything to write about this week. Let's find something to do.
Let's find something. Yeah. So the next story here, Starbucks opens its first 3D printed store. Is it cheaper than the real thing? So this is a 3D printed drive-through only, right? That's the thing that's not included in Brownsville, Texas. I have a few thoughts.
We'll save you the time of reading the article. No, it's not cheaper than the real thing.
Yeah.
It's a little bit more expensive, but they believe it will get cheaper as they do more and more of these things. And also a callback. I think they still exist, or maybe they don't exist anymore. We used to have at least a startup here in Atlanta, called New Story that was building homes in third world countries using a 3D concrete printer, very similar to the one that was used, for this Starbucks. So what do you think? Would you buy a home that was 3D printed?
It's really interesting. I wrote down 3 distinct thoughts about this story, right? This kind of feels like popular company did something so people care about it. Cause I do think it's really good for like low income housing, right? Like the projects sort of thing. But like, I didn't know I'm in the tech industry and I didn't know that like actual places were being 3D printed. Right. And so I think that that's really interesting. But from like a look and feel perspective, I feel like we're moving towards the missing middle, right? Where like
Yeah.
We're going to have these really, I think it looks really crappy, at least from the outside. Like it just does. I don't think it looks very good.
Right now, yes.
Right now, right? So like, I feel like we're going to start having like more of these 3D printed, like okay looking places and then like the premium stuff and then like nothing really in the middle.
Yeah.
But I also disagree with the final assertion, which is like, especially because no matter how the restaurants are built, the food and the coffee are likely to taste the same. Environment kind of has a lot, like can affect the taste of things. And like, I don't doubt that like 3D tech, like I think that maybe today's theme is like, it'll get there. But like today, I don't know if that assertion is correct yet.
Yeah. I mean, I think about the very first versions of like physical object 3D printers using plastic and the resolution that they had. And then you look at the ones now and sometimes there's 3D printed stuff and you can't tell it's 3D printed now anymore. Because the lines are so thin, that it all blends together and it's really hard to tell that it was 3D printed. So I think that's where we're going to get to with these as well. I think obviously concrete is a harder material to control like this than plastic is, but I'm sure as we kind of go down the line here, they'll figure stuff out. I mean, there's things that already have been added into concrete. Like you can put, this like fibrous material and instead of using rebar, you mix this stuff in and it actually makes it stronger than having rebar in your concrete. Like 15, 20 years ago, that didn't exist.
Yeah.
And now it exists and you just kind of pour it into the concrete and you mix it in there. And it's stronger than having rebar. Like that's pretty amazing. And I think as we kind of go forward with this 3D printing of concrete, we'll get to that same place as well. And, you and I will be like, oh, I couldn't tell that was not handmade, not bespoke built. It was 3D printed.
Yes. I guess we'll see which is faster now. Robots making shoes or 3D printed, convincing looking buildings, right?
I don't know. I feel like the buildings is probably going to be easier than the shoes.
Yeah, it really feels like it, right?
I mean, it doesn't feel like that should be the way, but I think that's going to be the way.
Yeah.
So talking about something else that's bespoke and, having a birthday, I guess. Two things. We'll hit up both of these articles. Apple Watch turns 10 years old and YouTube turns 20. So here's my little, claim to fame and little story about YouTube. I actually still have the email, but one of the co-founders of YouTube, Jawed Karim, he's somebody I know. He's a friend-ish. He actually was implementing my technology from my very first startup, at PayPal. And he sent me an email about a month in saying, Hey, Sajay, we just launched this new thing. Check it out. It's going crazy. And that was YouTube. And, I remember my thought being, you kids in your internet on the video or video on the internet, like you crazy kids. And I'm just such a dummy. I should have just been like, hey, Jawed, here's all my money.
Yeah.
Just invest. Here's every dollar I have. Just take it all. Cause I probably wouldn't be doing this podcast, if that had happened. But yeah, that's my claim to fame. Jawed is the one that's not very well known amongst the YouTube founders because he left after a couple of years. He did okay though on the exit of YouTube.
I bet. He's not the one in the zoo video, right? Is he?
He is the one.
He is the one in the zoo
very
video.
First video. Yeah.
So everyone knows his face probably.
Exactly. Exactly. Super nice guy though.
Nice.
So do you post a lot on YouTube? Do you do anything on YouTube?
I feel like YouTube, like social media growth is down for a lot of people, like trying to leverage social media to build an audience, I feel has been down and going down over the last couple of years. And I think that like YouTube, while it's still like kind of social media and algorithmically driven, is still a really good growth channel because you can actually like be useful and like your videos have like a longer tail than the 21 minutes they have on X or whatever. So yeah, I think YouTube is one of my favorite places to post. And then I wanted to throw in the Apple Watch here because I used to be like a hardcore analog watch collector.
Really?
And since getting my first Apple Watch, I don't know that I've actually worn an analog one. Like maybe like in the beginning, like for weddings or fancy events. But now it's just like I whatever, like I have like a fancy watch band to go with this and like a fancy watch face. But I don't change the watch. So like Apple Watch is the first thing I put on in the morning. Well, after I shower, I put on my Apple Watch. The first accessory I put on, we'll say.
Yeah.
And it's always like I always have it on me. I love it. I think it's a fantastic device. So happy 10-year birthday or 10-year anniversary to the Apple Watch.
I'll since you're talking about analog watches and high end watches, I'll give a shout out. A friend of mine's brother actually works for this company, Hodinkee. Do you know Hodinkee?
No, I don't. I'm Googling it right now.
It's HODINKI, maybe something like that. Hodinkee. Yeah. There are super duper high end watches on there. So you can actually buy them from their site, but these are like, 10,000 is like a low end watch, and they have like $50,000 and $100,000 watches. Like they have actually sold, I think my friend was telling me like $100,000 or $150,000 watch. Somebody just went on their website, put their credit card in, and bought a $100,000 or $150,000 watch. By the way, the credit limit on my credit cards does not go that high.
No.
So that would not be me buying a $100,000 or $150,000.
No.
it's
Second
a
mortgage
super
on the
fascinating
house.
site.
Yeah. That's amazing.
Exactly. Yeah. They started this as a blog, basically just talking about high-end watches, and then have built out a business and actually doing sales and, refurb or whatever, and authentication of watches and things like that. So, pretty amazing. But last story before Weird and Wacky is not amazing.
You want me to tee?
Scary.
I think you want me to tee. I'll tee you up for this.
Go for
right?
it.
Andrew Neumann, right? Flo
Newman?
Is it
I don't
Newman?
know.
Oh, and I've only read his name, I think. Andrew Newman's flow more than doubles valuation, eyes eventual IPO. I have no idea what flow more does. I can tell you Andrew Newman is the WeWork guy. So like it's
the name of the company is just Flow.
Oh, is it Flow? And Flow more than
doubles value.
See, this is how little I know about the company, right?
So Adam Newman is the WeWork guy. The guy that we've talked about on this podcast, who did all kinds of shady stuff. Like he personally owned all the WeWork trademarks and then leased them back to the company. He bought real estate and then leased that real estate to WeWork to build offices, so that he was making money from his own company in rental, like all kinds of, and he basically just tanked the company. And now a bunch of people, including Andreessen Horowitz, are giving him a bunch more money to start another company or to continue running a company. And Flow is basically trying to do residential stuff like they did in co-working stuff, but they're also doing business office desks, like co-working, like WeWork, but it's different somehow.
It's different somehow.
Know.
Yeah, it's different somehow.
I don't know. I think these are in like a year or two, we're going to be laughing about how all these people lost all their money on Flow because, of course they did.
You're right. Three things in life are true, right? Death, taxes, and VCs love grifters. And this guy's a grifter, right? Look at Theranos, right? Like Theranos, grift. All the tech companies giving money to Trump for his inauguration.
Juicero.
Yeah, right.
That was a grift.
Yeah, absolutely. And then like the tech companies who are like, wait, we gave you a bunch of money for your inauguration. You're still doing. It's like they go, what? This untrustworthy person swindled me and didn't deliver on their promises? C'est quoi?
Here's more money.
Yeah, here's more. Please tell me more.
I think you and I think I just came up with a great new website we need to launch. Startupgrifting.com and just have a list of all the grifts that have been done over time. Theranos would be at the top of that list.
Yes.
I think WeWork would probably be a close second.
Pretty high up there.
Juicero. There's a bunch. I remember from the .com days, there was somebody that raised a round of fund. I don't remember the company name anymore, but they raised like a round of funding of like 15 or $20 million. And they used 90% of that money for a launch party and they had nothing. So they like raised 20 and used 18 million of it for a launch party. And they actually did not have any kind of tech or product or service or anything else like that. Yeah. That's a grift.
Yeah. big grift energy, and VCs love it. Like it's like they're like money is no object to them, right? They're just like, yeah, whatever. This could be a good idea. I do find it interesting that like Elizabeth Holmes and like I will say like her grift was way bigger than Adam Newman's grift, but like she's in jail and he's like getting a second crack at it. Like really interesting stuff.
The Weird and Wacky segment.
Abominable snowman.
He's not an axe murderer.
One of the TAs turned out to be a bot.
Okay, it is weird and wacky time. We've got some crazy ones yet again here. First up is it feels like it's a follow-up for the one that we did a week or two ago. Someone hacked Seattle crosswalk buttons to broadcast fake Jeff Bezos's messages about tax dodging. So a week or two ago, we talked about this. It was done in San Francisco, and it was Elon Musk and Mark Zuckerberg's voices that were on the crosswalks. Now we have Jeff Bezos. So I'm wondering, here in Atlanta or up by you in Philly, whose voices are we going to hear on a crosswalk soon by the two of us? Because I really want to hear that. I don't know who would be good for Atlanta.
Yeah, I don't know for Philly. I think let's see. If this was like a few years ago, I'd say like the owner of the Eagles or the owner of the Phillies. But like, I don't know. Philly seems we care a lot about sports, and sports are pretty good in Philly land right now.
Yeah. I would take it the other way for Atlanta. You know what I'd like to see is actually something nice. I'd like to see somebody hack the crosswalks and have Jimmy Carter's voice be on there.
Yes.
You know, saying nice things. Or, you know, like, I don't know, in New York, Fred Rogers' voice. Yeah. Be on there saying like nice things.
Yeah. I would like that. Right. And well, in Philly, we would have to have like, I was going to say Will Smith, but I don't know if that's cool anymore.
I think I think he still needs the cooler for a little bit.
Yeah.
I'm not
maybe like
I'm still not down.
Kevin Hart or Rocky, right? Hey, be careful crossing the street there. Have a good day.
I think you should absolutely get Sylvester Stallone out there. You know, have you seen his new show Tulsa?
No, I have not.
It is. I actually think it's great. I've been watching it. It's on Paramount Plus. He is a mobster that gets sent away to Tulsa, Oklahoma, and has to start rebuilding kind of his life there. And, he's getting into some trouble and stuff. So I was skeptical when I started watching it, but I gotta say it's actually pretty well done.
Nice.
And one of the guys that's on the show is one of the actors from Silicon Valley, the TV show.
Oh, sweet.
Sweet. And so that was kind of neat to see. So anyways, next up.
All right. Next up, you knew. Who knew? Is that what it's supposed to say?
I think you knew.
You knew is how it's spelled. Scientists claim to have found color no one has seen before. Really interesting. Because I was reading this story and I was like, oh, so what's the color? And it's like we can't show you. They have like a close approximation that's like a, I don't know, teal, pastel green sort of thing.
Yeah, so the color is called Olo. Yeah. And the way that you see it, see is in quotes, is they have to shoot lasers into your eyes. No, thank you. I'm good. I don't need to see this color.
I'm good with our millions of color set that we have right now.
Yeah. I'm fine. I don't need to shoot lasers in my eyeballs to see a color.
Yeah.
I also want to know, like, who was the dum-dum that was like, hey, let's see what happens when we shoot a laser into your eye and see a color. And who's the bigger dum-dum who was next to saying like, oh yeah, you can do that into my eyes. Let me, I want to see too. Like who's dum-dum number 1 and 2 here? Cause come on, man.
This gets to a deeper question that I constantly have of like, how did we figure this out? Like, okay, we can't eat raw meat. We can't eat raw chicken. Raw fish, totally cool though. Like did we do raw fish first and then like someone ate raw chicken and was like, oh, I guess we can't do that. I'm just very curious about how we discover things.
Me too. Like you look at recipes and like, oh, it has to be baking soda and baking powder. Like, how did you
did we
just keep doing things in the beginning Like in the beginning, like
How did coffee
hundreds
start?
of years ago?
Like,
How did what?
coffee? Sorry, that was my New York accent coming out really hard.
Coffee?
Yeah.
I was like, what is that?
I can't even say it the normal way. Coffee. How did coffee?
Coffee.
Let's crush up some beans and throw cold water through it. Hot water. Let's not crush them up. Oh, I feel really good. Like I
wonder how many iterations of that happened, right?
Yeah,
like, you know, like Edison to do the bulb, it was like 1,000 different things
Right.
he tried with filaments. I was like, for coffee or for any of these other things, I'm like, how many people died along the way because it was baked wrong and they got like salmonella poisoning?
We're running out of plants. Can we just do dirt? That looks the same. Like I really want to know.
It's brown. This doesn't taste nearly as good, and I'm sick now. So
awesome.
Yeah. Talk about somebody else that's not sick and actually not going to make it to the end of the race. Chinese robots ran against humans in the world's first humanoid half marathon. They lost by a mile. Did you watch the video, Joe?
I didn't watch the video. I was out and about, and I'm like saving it because I want to watch. I want to watch it with my wife instead of watching my wife watch it. Right? Like, you know, it's like.
Okay, so spoiler alert. I gotta tell you, one of the best ones is the little robot that's maybe a foot tall that is tethered to a person with a remote control running it through the marathon. Like, how did you think this would make sense in a marathon? Do you know what a marathon is? People run in a marathon. They're not attached to anybody else or anything else like that, unless it's a marathon where there's, folks with, like blind or whatever, where they have an assistant.
Right.
But they're still running on their own. Right. This little thing was, and it's like the smallest thing. You're like, you're not winning the race, man. Like, even your stride length is not long enough when you're a little foot tall little robot. Yeah. So they had a bunch of them fall over right at the beginning of the race and everything. So look, all I know from this is, Skynet is not going to kill us, just yet. The robots are not out to destroy us just yet. It's coming. Yeah. Because these people are obviously going to make these things better. And then we're hosed. There's no sense in running marathons anymore. And then we'll be sedentary, and then it'll be easier for the robots to kill us all.
Yes. I think it's keeping with the theme of like, probably soon, like not yet, but maybe soon. This was very funny to me. I'm grateful that I would last longer than a lot of these robots in a marathon. Even if I have run 2 half marathons. I shouldn't say run. Run is generous. I have participated in and completed 2 half. You have
strolled through
I have,
a half marathon.
One was at Disney World, and so I didn't get swept up by the balloon ladies, which are these ladies that keep a 16-minute pace because you have to finish before the parks open.
I see.
And so if you get swept up, you get like picked up by a cart, and then you get escorted off of the track. And so that's never happened to me. So I've always maintained better than a 16-minute pace.
I did not know that was a thing, but there you go.
Yeah.
Tech wreck, time to get your tech wreck. Tech wreck. Chicky. Tech wreck. Time to get your tech wreck.
Okay, Joe, it is Tech Wreck time. What do you have for us this week?
All right. Well, I finally wrote this blog post I've been saying I need to write for a couple of months now. My recommendation, and I know we like Anchor Soundcore here because I saw it in the document a few times to make sure I wasn't recommending something that was already recommended. The Sleep A20 earbuds. I have tinnitus, and if you don't know what that is, it is when you hear like a kind of low pitched hissing or like buzzing in your ear. Even when there is no sounds. I didn't know tinnitus was a thing until somebody told me about it. And I legit thought that that's just what dead silence sounded like. Like I just thought that buzzing was like dead silence. And so I like sleeping with headphones. I tried the Oslo Sleep Buds a few months ago, but they are not good. They're $300 and they like require an app and an account to use. And like, this is Bluetooth headphones. I shouldn't need that. So the Sleep A20 earbuds fulfill my 2 criteria. They don't fall out of my ears when I sleep, and I can take them out of their case and they will connect to my phone without an app. So 2 criteria filled. I really like them. They're like half the price of the Oslo Sleep Buds too. So big fan of that. If you like to listen to stuff at night, especially if you don't want to disturb your significant other, I would strongly recommend these headphones.
Yeah. Well, so your price point is true up until we have like an 8 billion% tariff, in which case you have to have the GDP of a small nation to buy them.
Yes, I do say in the article, when I bought them, they were $120. They are now $180. And
Really?
I don't know if that's just like demand or competitive pricing, or if it is. Anchor has other stuff on sale for like 45% off right now.
Yeah.
So like, it might be like a thing where they raise the price so that they can put it on sale. You know how people do that.
Right. Yeah.
I don't think
so. Anchor, historically, Anchor has done a really good job, and they've lowered prices over time.
Yes.
And we do love their products. They're really well made, really well manufactured. And if you have issues, they definitely have good customer support as well. Pretty much the only place you can buy them is on Amazon as well. I think you can buy it on their site, but it basically funnels you through Amazon. I think you have to do Amazon Pay or something like that, but, a great recommendation. The only thing I question about this is like wearing headphones at night like that is, what if the fire alarm goes off? I guess you're relying on your significant other to wake you up and get you out of the house.
Yes.
I guess if they don't like you, that could be an issue.
That's
you
true.
might be sleeping through the fire.
Yeah. You know, I won't hear anybody coming. I thought about that too, because I have kids, and, these are noise blocking, not active noise canceling. So something loud enough will break through the headphones.
Got it.
Yeah, which is good, right? Because like I would sleep in my AirPods, and then I'm like, all right, well, these are noise but like AirPods have the loud noise detection or whatever, right? I should say the other thing is like I haven't even downloaded this app, and like they claim to have like sleep monitoring and personal alarms and customizations. I don't want an app for my headphones though, so I haven't tried it. But like, if you are looking for like sleep tracking and stuff like that in headphones, which I guess is a thing now, these are really good. There's like a cheaper model if you don't want any of that, and if you just want comfortable headphones that fit in your ears while you sleep too.
Yeah. Cool. Awesome. Well, this week I've got another AI recommendation for you. I have been using GitHub's Copilot. So for you folks out there that are software developers that maybe have not tried this out yet, it is absolutely phenomenal. There is a agent version in here, and for the next like week or so, there are no limits on this. They're actually clamping down and putting limits on how much you can use the agent version starting, I think, May 4th. So I am using it the heck out of it right now. But I will start from basically nothing and describe to it, hey, build me an app that does this, and it will build the entire thing. And I've been iterating on some of the things that I'm doing. Hopefully in the next week or two, I'll talk about the app that I'm building right now that basically the entire time has been me talking to the AI and telling it what to do and what to fix and what the problems are. And I'm not actually writing any code whatsoever. It is crazy wild out there. And I will say, I know that Adam in the past has recommended Lovable, which is a no code AI builder. I have tried some of those as well, but I don't know, there was always like deficiencies in the things that they built, and it just didn't get over the finish line for me. So I decided to do it this way instead. So I have a little bit more control over it. And I can actually get down and dirty into the code if I need to and actually do things. But right now I'm avoiding that whole thing. So give it a shot.
Unbelievable. I used ChatGPT to write some code because I was a coder in a previous life, and I didn't feel like doing it. And it was really impressive. So we're taking the kids to Disney World on May 4th, actually. And I used to have an app called Star Tours Tracker. If you don't know, there's a ride at Disney World and Disneyland called Star Tours. When they revamped it, they cut the ride into 4 segments, and each segment has 2 to 4 potential outcomes, right? So like you get a message from Yoda, or you can get a message from Princess Leia. Darth Vader could stop you, or Kylo Ren can stop you. You land on it. And so I had an app that would track which outcome I got. And I think maybe I'll try to use GitHub Copilot's agent to rebuild that app 10 years later.
There you go.
Yeah.
Awesome. Well, this has been great, Joe. Where can our listeners find and connect with you online?
Sanjay, always a pleasure. You can find me over at casabona.org, my blog, and pretty much everything I post will be over there. That's like the canonical place to find me.
Canonical.
Yes.
Fancy words here at the end of the Tech Talk, y'all. And you can find me at sanjayparik.com.
Dun, dun, dun.